What's up, Wolfpack Nation? Thank you so much for tuning in. On today's episode, we will be talking about some true or false questions. And when I say true or false, I basically mean, do we think it's going to happen or do we think it's not going to happen? And we're going to kind of discuss about that. And then make sure to stick around as we are going to be interviewing the one and only Kiara Leslie, a former women's basketball guard. So really excited about that. So make sure to stick around. And with that being said, let's go and get this thing started. What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? This is Leighton Smith and Macon Adams coming to you from Tuffy Talk, giving you the 9th episode. And we're here to remind you that it is another great day to be an NC State fan. So with that being said, please remember to, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. Would really appreciate that support. That is a big way to support us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tuffy Talk Now, and also to make sure to like these videos and appreciate all the support. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead first and go into true or false questions. So I will tell you guys ahead of time that Macon doesn't even know these questions, where you're going to get his reaction.
Not a clue.
Right here and see what he thinks. So with that being said, so the first question for you, Macon, and this one will be near and dear to your heart. So Darian Sebron will be an ACC, a first team all ACC player before he leaves NC State.
Oh my gosh. That's like saying, that's like pulling anything out of the hat. I have no idea. I think.
What are your thoughts?
First team by the time he leaves.
Yes.
So he's leaving when we think he's leaving. We think he's a 3-4 year player.
Yeah, I would say so. He's
definitely not 2 right now,
no.
Unless something crazy happens. So
yeah. Get a guess.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say I'll maybe guess second team.
Really?
So I'm going to say no to first team.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know because the reason why I kind of really wanted to say this one, because I know that you definitely do have a little bit of a crush with Sebron. I know you are all about some Sebron.
That dude has. There's nobody on our team like him right now. Now, maybe next year that'll be different when we get Terquavian Smith, who, for those who don't know, he's a 4-star, basically a shooting guard, but I think he's like 6'3", and that dude can score. He was just, nominated for McDonald's All-American. He's very similar to Sebron. So you'll see him, and then, Ernest Ross is a guy who comes in, but he's 6'9", he's a forward. So the closest guy to him may be a Terquavian Smith next season. But, yeah, that dude has a ceiling that not many players on this team have right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I truly don't think first team LACC is not outside of question for sure.
But that means you think he's going to be one of the top 5 best players in the entire ACC by the time he leaves.
Well, just because of again his versatility. There's no doubt. Again, not saying he is now, but I'm saying developing time. If he does stay for 3 years, it's not out of the realm of thing. Now, do I think he's going to get there? No, but I think that
the odds are more against him because So again, like I said, second team, he might be third team.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to say right now that guy is going to be a first team player.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so next, NC State will have another first round NFL draft pick within the next 2 seasons.
Next 2 seasons.
Next 2 seasons.
So we've got probably Peyton Wilson and Drake Thomas probably leaving. Maybe not Drake, but I think Peyton's leaving.
Yeah.
You've got Knight and Bam. You've got.
Even like Corey Durden.
Corey Durden. Yeah. First round pick. I'm in the next 2 years again. Oh man, that's tough. I'm actually probably going to say no again to this one. I think a lot of those guys are going to be second round picks. Durden, maybe. And Peyton Wilson, maybe. I'll put this way. I'll say this. If Durden plays, or if Peyton Wilson plays to the level he did this past season again, I think he's a late first round pick. If Durden plays like he has at his peak at Florida State, I think he's a late first round pick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fringe. But if I was a betting man, I'm going to guess maybe second round pick, because as dominant as Aleem McNeil was this past season, rated I think the number 2 interior defensive lineman in the country.
Yeah.
He's only going like second, third round, probably going to be a third round pick. So that's why it's like hard to say he's going to be a first round pick. I'm going to probably say no.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So Wes Moore will pass Kay Yao as the winningest NC State coach by the time his career is done. And just to kind of give you some insight in terms of numbers, so Kay Yao had 690 wins at NC State. She did coach beforehand at Elon, but then Wes Moore coached at Chattanooga, if I'm not mistaken, for many years.
Yep.
But he right now he's at 182, and he's 63. So I mean, I think that a lot of this question comes down to longevity, how long that he's around for. I mean, I think that for me, as long as things are clicking, I think he's definitely going to stick around for it. I know, I mean, you see like, coaches like, Coach K, Roy Williams, who definitely coach well into their 70s. So, I mean, if you guess,
if I had to guess, how many games are there in the season? Like, how many games do we have this season?
So, I mean, well, usually it's like about 30 or so. So
30 games, and his win percentage is, I bet his win percentage right now is probably, here we go. His head coaching record right now, you said Wes Moore is 100 and what?
He's at 182 wins.
But that's just at NC State, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and KL had 690 just at NC State?
Yeah.
I'm going to bet that he doesn't get that mark, because so that means 30 times, if it's 100, he's like 500 some behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like another 15 seasons he would have to maintain winning every single game, which is not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So let's say it takes him 20 years roughly to get to that point where KL's at right now. I think I'm going to say no, but I think that's just a credit to just how incredible of a coach Kay Yao was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as great as Wes Moore's been, that's he started at State later on in his career, and Kay Yao started earlier. I'm gonna probably say no, but he's second right now in terms of NC State women's basketball coaching lore.
Well, and kind of my reason too was coming up with this question was kind of really to give credit on both sides, just like you said. I mean, do I think it's crazy? I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, just because of how much, especially NC State is winning, especially over these last 2 seasons, and you do project that. I mean, it could definitely stay that way for many years. But also too, yeah, just like you said, kind of giving the hats off to Kay in terms of. I mean, State fans look back, and I mean, we had many 20+ win seasons and had many successful seasons. So, I mean, it's definitely a hats off. Now, I do think that if Wes would have come to us, earlier, there's no doubt he definitely could have gotten there. And I would say, honestly, I don't know his career wins, but I would say maybe even career wins. He might get there, because I know that at Chattanooga he had many like 29-4 seasons. So I mean, I would say career wins. He probably would pass her eventually.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. And I will say this, just a quick shout out, just a shout out to the women's basketball team, man. They, for those who don't watch, this was taped, we're taping this on Monday right after the game, to defend your title and go back to back, and to Reina Perez. That's going to be an all-time shot in NC State, lore. It's just huge for the school, for the program. Just could not be more proud. And
so this kind of runs right into that too. And this is more of one that's, for me, not even a question, but supposedly it is. So true or false? NC State will be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Should they be? At 100%, they should be. I mean, I know I saw they were. Was it Texas A&M, South Carolina, Stanford, and UConn?
Correct. We're the top 4.
How many of those teams have beaten a top 5 team 3 times? Technically, all on the road. Now, you could say, well, technically that yesterday's game against Louisville, that was a neutral site, but it's not at home.
Well, and I would consider it home just because, I mean, I know that I ran into some State fans, and for those who are following, I was actually at the game with my wife, and it was 95% NC State fans. And I know that the attendance there was about 2,000 people. So, but yeah, I mean, still, because, and I kind of mentioned this in the interview coming up with Kiara, but I mean, to beat Dana Evans, who was a 2-time ACC Player of the Year, and then beating Louisville, who as a team is super talented. I mean, they had 3 tournament all tournament players.
Was Van Lith for Louisville? Was she the freshman of the year?
I think so.
Yeah, it sounds right. I'm just saying to the talent that Louisville had. That's all I was trying to get at.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and so to beat them after us beating them the first time, so you knew they were going to come in with that chip on the shoulder and still handled Dana Evans for the most part. So hats off to Kai Crutchfield as well for that.
Oh yeah.
And win was just so huge. So yeah, definitely hats off and congratulations to that team. Just monster. And so now we can hope we can see the same success with men's basketball this week. So looking forward to seeing what happens with that. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, we're going to head right on over to our interview with Kiara Leslie. Hope y'all enjoy it. What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? Thank you so much again for sticking around. We are here with Kiara Leslie, former guard for women's basketball. Kiara, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah. Well, so I want to kind of first off start off with by saying, I know that you're just finished your second year in the WNBA playing for the Mystics. So just wanted to kind of first off by asking, how would you kind of evaluate your first 2 years so far playing professionally in the WNBA, and also too maybe even overseas as well, if you want to include that?
I think my first year in the league, I probably had the best and the worst season. We won. We were world champions, but I also found out that I was hurt, so that was a little tough. But to have a ring and celebrate that time with my teammates was amazing, and not a lot of people get to do that. I was the only rookie to be able to do that, so that was drafted. So that was a great time. And first season overseas, it's an adjustment from the time difference, the culture, food, everything's just different, language. So it's just something that I had to adjust to, but it's been going well.
If you wouldn't mind too, kind of one of the points that I guess I was really interested in is, so what is the transition like going from playing college to WNBA? I mean, going from playing in college where you have to worry about classes and then you're going from that to worrying about, I mean, now you're getting paid to play, so I mean, what was the transition like, and was there one specific part of that transition that was more difficult than the rest?
I mean, I still feel like it's class in a sense, maybe a little bit more fun, because whereas I'm having in college to read about whatever class I'm taking now, it's more about I have to look at my scout, read the scouting report. So same process. It's not a time to relax in that sense. You always got to learn and be open to it, because on the court, it's new concepts, new plays coming at you every day. So that was pretty much the same. I would say the biggest adjustment is I guess the speed you're learning things at, because every day you're learning something new, and also having to forget what you previously were taught and maybe switching to do something a completely opposite way, and just always being open-minded and ready to attack the day. It's your job now. As you say, we get paid for it, so you have to come ready every day. It's not a day you can come, I don't feel well today, or you have to come prepared because it's your job.
Yeah, definitely much respect there for that. I can't even fathom that. But and because one thing too is I know that with the Mystics that you got the opportunity to play with some of the greats like Elena Delle Donne, Lonnie Mitchell. I think is a 12-year veteran in the WNBA. So how has playing or being around players that are that experienced and that talented really made an impact on your career so far?
I guess it's helped me grown up a lot, and just seeing what they do and how they attack each day helps me to come in and get my routine down. Because when you're new, you never know what to expect, how things are going to be. So you're always very observant to what others do. And luckily I had great veterans. So they were easy to talk to and had suggestions for me. So they made it easy.
Somebody like, especially like Elena Delle Donne, who's very well known in the WNBA world. Was there any kind of fan side of you at all that thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I get to play with some of these great players? I mean, did that kind of hit you when you first were told or that you got drafted by the Mystics?
I mean, of course, I noticed like, hey, I play with Delle Donne, or I get to guard Diana Taurasi's game or whatever. But going through the scouting process of being drafted and talking to different coaches, they said, one of the coaches told me a problem that a lot of rookies have is they get starstruck because they can't believe they're on the same court as this player and that player. So I didn't really focus on who I was on the court with, but just making sure that I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't want any of that to throw me off, because they're just normal people just like we are. And that you'll learn that once you start hanging around them and talking to them and all that.
That's right. No, that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I'm sure that same thing can be said for a lot of sports, that people get, drafted to go play beside some of the greats. It's a humbling feeling, I'm sure, to be playing, but that's really cool, Kiara. So one of the things too, I really wanted to ask you about. So I know last year, obviously COVID hit in 2020, and obviously put a huge wrench into the NBA, WNBA, multiple different sports. So I know you guys had the opportunity to play in the WNBA bubble. So I mean, I really did want to ask you how was that? I mean, like, was it a fun experience? Was it tough? I mean, just like how was that overall process of being in that bubble and playing in that bubble?
It was very different. We were definitely safe, but I would say, like, we had a lot of team meetings, and check-ins on each other, how we're doing. And I know mentally it took a toll on a lot of people because we were legit stuck in one spot. We couldn't go out to eat, couldn't go in the grocery store, anywhere, get our hair. We couldn't do anything. So it's tough. It was tough just being in one spot. So we all tried to just do certain little activities every day, or whenever, just to get it out of our mind that we legit can't go anywhere and see anybody, be around our family, friends, so.
Well, I mean, I was just curious. I mean, so when you say activities, was there like, certain like games that you guys would come up with just to kind of stay, just stay out of it? Or, I mean, any specific examples you can give?
Yeah, I mean, we had pool parties.
Oh, cool.
We ordered water guns, walkie-talkies, card games. One of my teammates before she switched teams, she works in the music industry, and during the off season, so she had a lot of equipment. She had a microphone, she had her recording thing, she had her, I don't really know the names of these items, but she had the little tablet where you can make beats. She had a keyboard, so she had like a little studio in her room, so we had fun with that. But we used to cook together. We used to just try to do little things.
So just kind of switching gears here. So how much difference would you say there is in playing in the WNBA and playing in Europe for Nika in Russia? How much of a difference would you say there is?
It's a lot different.
I mean, I'm sure the weather maybe might be a difference, or.
Yeah, it's freezing here. Majority of the time it's in the negatives. I mean, literally everything is different. The grocery stores are different. Apartments look different. Coaching styles are different. Some of my teammates don't speak English, so it's a little tough in that sense. I know my first coach, he spoke a little English, but he spoke in Russian majority of the time. This new coach, he speaks majority English, so that's a little bit better for me and other American teammates. So literally everything is different besides the basketball and the hoop and putting it in there and scoring.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of State fans too would probably, after hearing that, would probably have to ask. I mean, obviously, like Ace Koenig, who we interviewed a couple of weeks ago. I know that she speaks multiple languages. So for you, not obviously, I'm sure not be able to speak Russian. How do you get by that? How do you get through that communication barrier?
Well, we teach each other some words.
Okay.
And then there's a few people, some people don't, it's like a few that don't speak English. There's one or two that speaks great English, and then you have the ones in the middle. So everybody helps everybody in a sense.
So also too, just kind of like stepping back to kind of your days growing up playing basketball. So was there a specific player when you were growing up that you looked up to, like as a basketball player that you wanted to emulate or be like one day?
On the women's side, Maya Moore was my favorite player. Just how she played and her passion. And then nowadays, the things that she does off the court, I think, are just indescribable. So she definitely was an influence.
Good. Have you had a chance to meet her yet?
I actually have. I met her 2 years ago in DC. She came and talked in some conventional thing. I can't remember. But yes, I did get to meet her and took a picture and talked to her a little bit. So that was cool.
Oh, that's great. That's so cool. Well, and I'm sure when you say that's completely different, I know probably one of it is that you originally went to Maryland for 3 years and then came to State for 2 years. So, I know that your third year in Maryland, you had another injury that kept you out for the year. I mean, I guess I was just kind of curious. I mean, so what was kind of the selling point on saying, let's move on and let me come to NC State. What was kind of that selling point to you on kind of making that transition from Maryland to coming to NC State?
Well, not a lot of people know everything about my Maryland experience, but really it was the injury that sealed the deal that it was time for me to go. I know I had broken my ankle, and she had the #1 recruiting class coming in the year after, and I know she was focused on those young players and build them up. So she kind of told me that she was going to focus on them, and basically I can stay if I want, but I won't be the player. I wouldn't be the go-to player. I'll just help out the team and maybe practice, things of that sort. So I knew that I knew what I could do, and I knew that I wasn't going to let an injury ruin my basketball career. So I knew it was time to leave and start somewhere fresh.
Yeah. Well, and then you went on to become 2019 first team All ACC and All ACC defensive team. So I mean, definitely, yeah, definitely. I'm sure use that as some motivation to prove it wrong. So good for you, Kiara. And one of the things too that I know that a lot of state fans that we pride ourselves on, especially when it comes to our basketball programs, is with men's basketball. Obviously, we love the tradition with David Thompson, Jimmy V. Um, and then on the women's side, obviously, I mean, KL is just, I mean, the building block of our women's team in terms of our tradition, in terms of the impact that she made on this program and truly built it up to what it is, what it is now, even, and even with what Westmore has been able to build on top of it. So, I know since I know you were around NC State with CJ, but how much of an impact did the tradition of KEL on this program really sell you on coming and wanting to be a part of this, a part of this tradition and helping, Coach Moore and the other players kind of build on top of it?
I was like back at Maryland during the Pink game, one day she came in and asked, "Do you know why we wear pink?" And majority of the team had no clue about the Pink game and who KL was. And of course, I did growing up in North Carolina and my brother going to NC State. So I think just that played a big part of me coming back and being able to actually wear pink for the coach who helped build up the NC State women's basketball team was something to look forward to. And also I saw what Coach Moore and the girls had did in the NCAA tournament prior to me coming. And so I knew that there was potential there and I knew that I could come in and help. So I thought it was a great fit. And then allowing my family to come and see me play every game was a bonus.
One of the things I think that stands out is, obviously like Elisa Canane, Caleb Boyd, Jakia Brown Turner, players like that. I think that all state fans and every basketball fan would agree that, players like that are, going to be first, second round draft picks whenever they do decide to go. Do you see NC State, with you being the first to get drafted in the NBA, as being an eventual WNBA feeder in terms of, just year after year having players get drafted in the WNBA?
No, absolutely. They definitely have girls on the team now that will be drafted in the future when their time comes. It's exciting to see because all my teammates, they played at Louisville, Carolina, Notre Dame, whatever, and they all have ex-teammates on other teams or playing with them. So it'd definitely be cool to have, some more NC State alumni in the WNBA.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting for the day Ace can come back, because I know she's killing it right now, and then she actually just won a title again for her team as well overseas. So I think we're all hoping that Ace can come join you here soon too. But yeah, Elisa Canane, Kayla Jones, it's only a matter of time whether they do decide after this season or next season to go. They'll be joining you very soon. So, so I know that when we interviewed Ace, one of the questions that we asked her was what is it about Coach Moore that has made him so successful at NC State? And one of the things that she talked about was his preparation. How he just tirelessly just critiques and details even the most smallest details. So is there something else that maybe you would say different in terms of what makes Coach Moore so successful, or would you just have to say just emphasize that even further in terms of how much he focuses on the preparation side?
Oh, I would say definitely his passion, but number one is the way he scouts. I think he might be the best scouting coach I've ever played for. He definitely prepares us. He over prepares us for the game. He's very detail oriented and he's very, very specific. Very, very, very specific in what he wants. And I know sometimes I would, knowing me, I would try to change up some things, and he definitely wanted things ran or whatever the way he wanted. So I know that that's a lot of the reason why the teams have been so successful. His years there, just because how detail oriented he is when he scouts.
You on that. So, one more question to that we kind of finish off. So, if a top recruit, like high school recruit, approached you and said, "Hey, Kiara, what would you say makes NC State's women's basketball program different from every other women's basketball program, whether it's UConn, whether it's Stanford, Louisville? What would you say what would you say makes NC State stand out from the rest of them?"
That's a good question. I would say definitely the coaching staff. I don't know. I mean, Coach Moore is different. I don't know if I ever met another coach that can be any more brutally honest with you than him, which is a great thing because it definitely will help you in the long run, in the next level, wherever you have it. Even if you stop playing basketball in a job where you can take constructive criticism, I think you can go a long way. So we definitely appreciate him being honest because it also it motivated us to work even harder just to prove him wrong. So I'll say that definitely. I think each coach on the staff has different personalities, and I think you're going to find what you need. You're going to draw to whichever one that will help complement you on and off the court because they're all there to help you. And then basketball-wise, I'll definitely say I don't know if any other coach would prepare you any better for a game or anything in practice. I'm not sure if you can find that.
I agree with you on that too, Kiara. So, I appreciate that. So, to kind of finish off, just two more minutes. So here we'll one of the things that we did with Ace that I think we really enjoyed doing. I know a lot of State fans enjoyed too. Was kind of doing these quick this or that questions, just to kind of wrap up and kind of just like you said, give State fans a little bit of an opportunity to get to know you more on a personal level. So first, kind of start off with here. We'll go beach or mountains.
Oh wow, beach.
Okay. Winter or summer?
Winter.
Mm-hmm. I'd hope so. You're in Russia, so cats or dogs?
Dog.
Okay. Favorite fast food?
Oh boy, Chick-fil-A, sure.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancake.
Go out or stay in?
Oh boy, stay in.
Okay. All right. Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Okay. The all black NC State uniform or the all red uniform?
Red.
Okay, man. Yeah, you and Ace both said that. That's interesting. Cool. Game winning shot or game winning stop?
Shot.
Okay. So you see, actually, Ace said stop. I found that very interesting, especially for her, as much as she loves to shoot the ball. So, okay. Medios or players retreat?
Medios.
Okay. Favorite Howling Cow flavor?
I'll go with vanilla.
Okay. Keep basic. That's fair enough. They're all good, so there's no wrong answer there. All right. Beating UNC or beating Louisville?
Louisville.
Wow. Okay. Swishing a three or breaking a defender's ankles?
Breaking ankles.
Yeah. All right. And the last one here, LeBron or MJ?
MJ.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kiara, for your time. Really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I know State fans are going to love this, and please make sure State fans, you haven't to follow Kiara, and you can definitely give her a shout out on social media. And again, we definitely look forward to seeing you back here in the States, Kiara. And if any State fans are able to go check any of her games out, make sure to do so. And I know, Kiara, that hopefully a lot of State fans should see you playing beside some NC State players here very, very soon. So thank you so much again for your time, Kiara, and good luck this season. Stay safe out there.
Thank you. No problem.
All right, Wolfpack Nation, hope you guys enjoyed that interview. It was such a great time interviewing Kiara, and again, I mean, it's just great to see that first stint of NC State women's basketball in the WNBA, and just like she said, I mean, we definitely expect there's going to be many, many more coming down the road here within the next couple of years, even. So definitely stay tuned for that. So thank you all again. Please make sure again to subscribe to us if you haven't already by clicking the button in the bottom right-hand corner, following us on Instagram and Twitter at Tuffy Talk Now, and please like this video and check out other content. Definitely would appreciate that support, and also to send us any feedback that you guys have. We're always looking for ideas of new episodes, so please always feel free to direct message us with any ideas that you have or things that you like, don't like, things like that. So with that being said, thank you all again, and we look forward to seeing you guys at the men's basketball tournament this week, Greensboro. And thank you all so much again. With that being said, go Pack.